When the college football playoff first hit the scene, many folks, including myself, were clamoring for more teams. It didn't make sense to me to limit the field to only 4 teams, especially when there were other teams that seemed to be deserving of the VIP status. But after seeing the results of the last 2 weekends, I don't think the playoffs need to be expanded because honestly, they've already started. Now, 2 weeks ago, Ohio State got the party started with the win over Penn State at the Horseshoe, and then Iowa State hate on the Big 12's playoff hopes with a sound home victory over TCU. And all of this happened before the initial college football rankings were even released. In the following week, the additional pressure was just as prevalent. The top 4 teams logged solid yet unimpressive wins, while Ohio State, who looked like they may belong the week before, proved to be fake news after catching a beatdown by the Iowa Hawkeyes. So what does all this tell me? The college football playoff has done a great job of placing additional pressure on the teams in contention to create a playoff environment long before the actual playoff takes place. Now, Notre Dame has to treat every game like an elimination game because they don't have the luxury of playing in the conference championship. And I believe the selection committee wanted to recreate the sentiment for the other contenders as well. Georgia was ranked number 1 over perennial playoff participant Bama, while one-loss teams were ranked higher than undefeated Wisconsin and Miami due to strength of schedule. So ultimately, the actions by the committee are going to force teams to schedule tougher games throughout the season, which will only lead to more chaos at the end of each season. Now, this weekend alone, the Washington Huskies try to keep their playoff hopes alive on the road at Stanford. Georgia puts that number 1 ranking to the test in a pivotal SEC game against a dangerous Auburn squad. And the untested Wisconsin team faces their biggest challenge yet against an Iowa team that stomped out the Buckeyes. Bama heads to Starkville in another ranked SEC matchup against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And Notre Dame travels to South Florida to take on the Miami Hurricanes in a playoff elimination game. With so many games with so much on the line this weekend, there's no denying that the college football playoff has already begun. And I can't wait to see who gets booed out the club this week. And hopefully it's an ugly little green Irish man with big feet and bad breath.